What a start.
What a shot.
What a reply. He makes contact, and in the end, he has cut the margin.
Great effort.
Have a look at this bowl. Done it. He has produced in the moment.
Just one more day to go here at the 2023 Australian Indoor Championships. And what a day we have in store, because the final men's singles semi-final will be taking place before the women's final, and then finishing and concluding this tournament, the men's singles final. Val Furbo here with you at the majestic Club Tweed. It is huge here and it is great. I do encourage you to get up here and have a roll if you haven't already done so. And joining me this morning is the one and only right at home Jackaroo, Barry Lester. Baz, how are you?
I'm excited, Val. Yeah, you're at one of the best venues in the world when it comes to bowls facilities, and you've got, for me, one of the best singles players in Australia for the last sort of 10 years. Young gun Chris Couchman's been around, very experienced also. So, yeah, he's going to test Ray all the way, and we're in for a really good day of bowls.
Today's schedule, we've got this match here right now. It's Ray Pearce against Chris Couchman for a spot in the decider to take on Darren Gordon. And their paths here have been interesting, but we'll get to that in a sec, because we've got the women's singles final. Samantha Atkinson, she's going to take on 16-year-old Reese Finn-Young. That is going to be a wonderful contest. I cannot wait for that. And then afterwards, it's going to be Darren Gordon up against the winner of this one. That's at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So check your local guides to see what time that is wherever you are around the world. But how they got here, the quarterfinals, it was Ray Pearce. He took on the defending champion Aaron Sheriff, and he won that one 8-all, 8-7. So it was a really tight contest with only one shot separating Razor and the defending champ. And Chris Couchman enjoyed a tight win over Bob Scott of South Australia, 11-2, 8-9, and then 2-1 in the tiebreaker. So a brilliant performance from him, but he's got his work cut out for him against Razor Pearce, who is a great singles player. But the winner will take on Darren Gordon from Dunkeld yesterday, and this is what he was able to put together against Greg Brown. He played some brilliant conversion shots, as you're seeing on the screen right now, and his final bowls were absolutely sensational, and was absolutely brilliant to see. And he'll take on, well, Ray Pearce. He's looking pretty good at the moment, isn't he, Baz?
Yeah, he sure is. Prolific singles winner, quality player, and he's in a good place in life at the moment. You know, new role down there at Club Tarrant Point. So, but yeah, looking at both players, they look pretty settled already. A couple of ends to roll up, and yeah, hopefully there's a big crowd today in for some great action.
And yeah, certainly, and Chris Couchman as well from New South Wales, from Austral. He's looking pretty good himself. He's done a lot in his state, and he was a former City member in the City versus Country Test Series that is quite illustrious. And at 36 years of age, he's performing really well. He's got his parents here watching, his son Thomas as well, watching in the front row, and has been really excited to spend the week here with Dad up at Club Tweed, and yeah, really looking forward to this contest. It's going to be brilliant. And Ray Pearce, we know what he's done. He's been to the BPL. He's a former right at home Jackaroo, and he's performed so well on the highest level. Really looking forward to what he can bring to the table here today as they complete their roll-up ends. Razor trundles his way over towards Barry Lester, and Chris does the same. And it's going to be the two of these two to lock horns to see who can join Darren Gordon in the final. Looking forward to it. And Razor he seems so relaxed this morning, and I'm so interested to see how he'll go about it and if he can get himself into a really good position early. And Barry Lester, he's ready with them.
Thanks very much, Val. Yeah, I've got Chris here on my left. Chris, tell us a bit about your journey so far in this event and how you're feeling going into a big match against someone you know pretty well in Ray Pearce.
It's just been great fun playing against some awesome opposition. Definitely some of the toughest bowls I've ever played in my life. Ray's one of the best going around the country for the last 10 years or so, so it's a big privilege, and see how we go.
And you say it is a privilege, and we know Ray's a quality player. Have you got a bit of a game plan without giving too much away? You know, how are you going to go about it? Is there a mindset involved, like just going out and having fun, relaxing, or is there a certain sort of style you want to go about today?
Just hopefully get close and then hopefully get a few lucky results, and that'll do.
Well, wishing you all the best. A few lucky results. I'm sure, Razor, we all need them. I'm sure you love some today as well. But for you personally, I know this is probably an event you want to do well in. You've ticked a lot of boxes over your career. What does this mean to you to try and do well today?
Yeah, well, this is one of the singles events that's not on the resumes yet, but it would be nice. But, you know, first things first, Chris is a very formidable bowler, and it's going to be a tough match.
And you've had a bit of an equipment change. We don't see that mid-event by many players. So tell us a bit about that, mate, and why you've done it, and what do you think it will do to try and help you get over the line today?
Yeah, so I brought the wider set, the Quantums, the Aero Quantums up there for the to start off, but they were doing some funny things, and then got the bossy Wayne Turley set, and they were too tight. So good old Max Jeffrey, thank you, champion. Yeah, so we'll see how the white set go today.
Well, wishing you all the best, Ray and Chris. Have a great day of play, and we're really expecting a high-quality match this morning. The crowds will build. Over to you, Val.
Thank you, Barry, and good luck to both of these two combatants today. Of course, the formats, 2 sets of 9 ends, and then if need be, if we're deadlocked after 2 sets, we're going to a 3-end tiebreaker, 3-end shootout. Could decide who joins Darren Gordon in the final. And Ray Pearce, very lucky to have a friend like Max Jeffrey to be able to send through some bowls, and equipment change is never easy mid-tournament, but Ray Pearce is so good that he just makes everything look absolutely easy, and he's we know what he can do. He finished second, runner-up in the Bowls Premier League MVP voting at BPL 12 back at Moama at the start of 2021. And he's also a former Jackaroo Australian Open winner. He's won an abundance of awards across the country and across New South Wales, where he's from. Barry Lester joins me now.
Yeah, no doubt. That's right, Val. Ray Pearce, you know, we don't want to take anything away from Chris, but Ray Pearce's resume, it just digs deep. It goes all the way from, you know, state level championships right up to international championships. Been on a few tours with Ray, both overseas and around Australia, and just backs it up bowl after bowl, game after game, and just a really, really solid competitor. So Ray on the forehand here, just bringing in his line, and it's a fair correction. So both players playing opposite sides of the rink. They would have had a good look at this rink in their roll-up. They
An extra couple of ends in.
Yeah, extra couple of ends, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah, the more ends you can get to roll up when the rink's free, the better. I am a traditionalist, but yeah, like many other sports, if you can get out and warm up for a while, for a fair while before the event, the better it is. So.
And both of these two were here last night, having a little bit of a roll-up after play.
Yeah, and just getting familiar, because you've got the A-frames left and right of the rink, you've got a bit of camera, grandstands, so just making sure you're familiar with the surrounds. As Ray just slides on for another counter, so holding 2. He'll be happy with that one because he's nailed his weight. Just sliding under line-wise.
Chris Couchman from Austral in New South Wales.
Yeah, nice sound technique for Chris. Yeah, very steady player. Obviously, to get to this stage of the tournament, you've got to play bowls like that, and that's enough. One to Chris.
Beautifully done.
Great position too. It's fairly locked in on Ray's bowl. If he had been probably one bowl narrower, it would have been much more vulnerable for Ray to try and pluck that out of the head, but I think it leaves him to play some form of draw shot here. Just take a bit more grass on his last. So important if you are down on the head and you actually draw the shot or get a bowl in there, you try and hide it against a quality player like Ray.
Yep.
His conversion game on the back of his draw game is why he has had so much success.
He's an absolute star, isn't he,
in
Ray
singles.
Pearce?
He is, yep.
But he's, it's not just singles. He's won the Australian Open in the pairs before.
Yeah, with Aaron Sheriff.
Yep.
Yep.
It was back in, what was that, 2019?
Yeah, it was a great performance by Ray, and yeah, he's changed clubs recently. He's just gone to Tarrant Point, the mighty Tarrant Point down there in the Shire, and he settled in very well there. And he's
Big club, Tarrant Point.
It is, and he's been doing a lot of work with the club there and helping that club go from strength to strength. You know, quality players, quality administration. Chris Green, General Manager Tim Wolf. Chris just missing high there. Don't think he'll get back. So yeah, great club down there in the Shire. Tarrant Point, one of the leading clubs in Australia. As Chris gets on the board for one.
It's a great start for Chris, I think, just to get on the board early against Razor. It's certainly not easy if you're playing from behind against such a good front runner like Ray Pearce, and really good to see Chris just showing a bit of relaxation this morning. He seemed pretty happy and jovial, talking with his parents and playing with his little son before. Thomas was giving him a few roll-ups on the carpet out there. Actually got told off by Thomas last night for leaning back on my chair. Little 4-year-old scolded me.
Last night, I'm trying to put last night behind me, mate. It was pretty exciting at 1-1.
Yeah, when Sam slotted that goal, it was going off. Did you see the footage of Fed Square in Melbourne?
Yeah, they caught.
Absolutely insane.
Great shot, Chris Couchman. Forehand. So yesterday we hardly saw many opening bowls, lead bowls on the forehand for a right-hander in this direction. And straight away, Chris and Ray electing to play that side. So it's just something they've probably seen in the roll-up or they've seen in previous games. We spoke to Ray pre-game about equipment. If you've got the ability to have a few different sets in the bag or in the boot, if you're playing local, I recommend it, especially in the modern game. So it's different 20 and 30 years ago. As an athlete, you've got to adapt. As we see Chris back it up with another one there. It's very impressive. Not only impressive line, but weight. We've got so many different surfaces now than what we did 30 years ago, from carpet to synthetic to
100%.
to bent to TIFF to indoor and outdoor. So multiple surfaces. Well, he's nearly done it, Ray.
Oh, he's very close. The Dalmatian-style bowls aren't quite getting there yet.
Yeah, it's like different footy boots for different footy conditions. I'm a big believer if you can have a few different sets for different conditions, as they vary so much in the modern game. Why not if you can?
Now, I do want to ask you, how many do you have? Because I think I've heard this asked to you before, Baz, and it was quite an astronomical number. So, what's your total?
Chris Couchman.
Oh, very close.
Just falling short. I'm probably currently sitting with around about 10 sets. 10 sets in the garage and a couple in the car. But once again, why is that? You've got BPL, UBC, you've got Queensland conditions. I play in Victoria as well.
Yep.
Ray Pearce needs some jack movement here. He needs to sit with it though. He's just gone one down.
And then he pushed Chris's bowl over.
Yeah.
So Chris will still be holding one.
We're playing in Perth in October for the Ali Shield over there. Expecting quick greens, probably some windy conditions. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky with the support of Aero Bowls. I can have multiple sets of bowls. So, and no different to many of these players we're seeing on TV as they move around Australia, playing in different conditions. And Chris, Ray using the Optimas today, Aero Optimas, and Chris using the Henselite XGs.
And Baz, also, you've got the blue and the red from the Com Games last year, so that's another 2 sets that you had to lug all the way with you to Birmingham.
Yeah, I think they're still somewhere on their way back on a ship somewhere. I put them in freight. I haven't seen them yet.
Still haven't got them? Oh, no.
I'll have to chase them up.
You still haven't chased them up? A year, Baz. What are you doing?
So Chris Couchman on the forehand. He's got a bit of room here. Looking good.
He's not far away here, Chris Couchman.
That's 4 great bowls from Chris, and that's the winner.
Well, you were talking yesterday, Barry, about those effective bowls, and all of his bowls have been more and more effective so far.
Yeah, that's right. What I really like about Chris so far in this direction, it's 4 deliveries, so 4 of the same line, same rhythm, same makeup. So he's looked up and saw the same things 4 times, which really helps you just settle into the game. Ray's gone forehand, backhand, backhand, now back to the forehand. So a bit of a change up for him. But these are the shots that Ray specialises in. You'll notice here, be very good weight, just to look, to come into the head, sit or trail,
He's
and
not
look
far
at
away.
this. Ray Pearce, what a shot.
That is as good as it gets. Our marker, Dennis Agnew from Club Tweed, raises that red paddle for Ray Pearce. And if you look at the replay, it was inch perfect, getting past that Chris Couchman bowl and nestling in right underneath the jack. That is why he's such an accomplished singles player, Ray Pearce.
And just so calm about it, Val. Hey?
No big celebration. He's got such a steely resolve and steely look in his eye. And cool, calm, collected customer, very relaxed individual is Ray Pearce.
Yeah, just really studied that position then. He knew he didn't need to go too quick, especially having the one in there. And just hats off to Chris as well. What he's been able to bring so far. Won the first end, then puts 4 inside a couple of feet. Creates a little bit of pressure for Ray, but Ray just said, well, I'm up to the task here. Forehand with a yard of weight, perfect weight, just to work up into the head and trail that jack perfectly for 1 shot.
Well, if that's a sign of what we're going to get today, we're in for a really fun afternoon, or morning and afternoon, because it's been a wonderful couple of ends to start proceedings here. Of course, up next, it's going to be Samantha Atkinson up against Reese Finn Young. Really, really keen to see who comes out on top there in the women's singles final. And then, of course, Darren Gordon from Dunkeld under the Grampians in Victoria. He's going to be awaiting the winner of this contest between Ray Pearce from Tarrant Point and Chris Couchman from Austral in New South Wales. So it'll be a New South Welshman against a Victorian in the final.
So Ray staying on the forehand in this direction, so he's really focusing on trying to play the same hand, same bowls, just missing a bit high there. I like that intent though, just to work up into the head. If he's tight turn his bowl or sit Chris's. You see Chris quite a large backswing. Gets nice and low. Good tempo there. Good extension in the follow through as well. Just needs to get down. As you'll see with Ray, Ray's a bodyweight bowler. So Ray hasn't got a large backswing, but he uses a lot of forward bodyweight momentum to get his weight control. As you'll see here.
The beauty of this sport, Baz, is that there is no correct technique.
No, that's
just
right.
It is what works for you. Obviously, there's a lot of 1%ers that you need to adhere to, but, it's whatever works for you.
Needs the jack here, Ray Pearce. What a shot. Just missing under. Great attempt.
Very close.
That's right, Val. There are fundamentals, so your balance, your timing, your tempo. You don't want too much lateral movement, etc. They're all just the fundamentals, just like so many other sports. But that's right. You don't need to have a technique that someone tells you this is how to do it. You need to do what works for you, but making sure you really are concentrating on those fundamentals. And I think of one of the greatest players I've ever seen, touch player, one of Australia's legend bowlers in Ian Taylor. As we see Chris Couchman on the forehand, what a unique delivery Ian had, and one of the best front-end men we've seen and consistent players we've seen.
Chris Couchman is not far away. He needs it to run. Won't get there.
Shout out to Tails, loves his bowls, probably watching.
Good morning to you. And good morning to you around the world, wherever you're watching. Val Furbo and Barry Lester here with you at Club Tweed. Baz has been kind enough to bring in some lollies this morning. It is a bit early, but we have both stuck in.
Well, if Ray Pearce keeps playing shots like that, We're gonna need them.
We're not going to need a sugar hit, to be honest. The endorphins after a Ray Pearce shot will get us going, I reckon. But it's been a great start to the morning so far. The heads have been tight, they've been congested, which is what we love to see. A lot of thoughts and problems for the players to solve as Ray Pearce looks to get around here.
He needs to work off his own. He flops down. He goes close here. Can he get down? Well, that is close.
It is. I'm still favouring one blue. That earlier bowl of his actually helped and obliged and pushed it over.
Yeah, a bit of danger.
Bowls can do some work for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got the little rock back there, the second kiss. He didn't want to play forehand and promote Chris's front bowl for 2. So Dennis Agnew, our marker. He'll be all over that. Does a lot of volunteering around the club here at Club Tweed, Dennis Agnew. Out there today. So we thank Dennis and all the other volunteers this week as Chris looks to add another. He's turned his back on it. I think he's just falling short.
Yep, so still 1 to blue. So Chris Couchman continues to rise up in singles as we both do. 3 singles to start proceedings here. 2-1 lead to the Austral product with 6 ends to play in this opening set. Of course, if you've just joined us at Club Tweed this week, the final day of action, it's 2 sets of 9 ends followed by a 3-end tiebreak if needed. Chris has enjoyed a really good start. We'll be hopeful that he can get into the final and take on Darren Gordon. But Ray Pearce, he was always one when looking at the draw that you pencil in and go, he is going to have a very good tournament. And the fact that he was in the same quarter as Aaron Sheriff, it always spelled danger signs for the defending champion because Razor is just such a good player. And you look at the scoreline, 8-all, 8-7. That is as close as it gets.
Aaron Sheriff's drive on the last end of that match is one of the best drives I've ever seen. He
scored a 2 instead of the 3 that he needed, though. So close.
It was perfect, absolutely perfect. He had to shave the front shot bowl and work off and get the other 2, but lock and stay. And but wow, what an effort it was to try and keep that game alive. And that's the quality of the play we've seen this week from players such as the 2 out on the rink now and the players that have come before them this week. You always see absolute classic matches, and you're guaranteed every year in this event to see half a dozen games come right down to the wire. That's the way the format's set up. And you know, if
That's why it works.
Yeah, and if you walk away with a win this week, you know you've really earned it. Ray just needs this one to stick a little. He's just under. Weight might get him the shot though. Little touch.
Pearce, pretty happy to get that touch there. Good bowl. 1 red now.
As you see there, Chris, nice forward follow through. Good position at release.
What I'm liking is the way that they've both set this end up. They've got one just past and then a couple near the tee as well. Chris going to try and sit his own. He's gone through, but again, not a bad home. He's got stuff to work with now, Baz.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's given all 3 a chance, showing that he's not, you know, sort of fidgety or jittery from any kind of nerves. The fact that he can get that nice release going, get the bowl up there, give it a chance as Ray draws another. That's 2 to Ray Pearce.
In a 9-end set, as when do you, and you know, you see in tennis that there's always, you know, the 7th game is when players really want to make their move and get that break of serve. In a 9-end set, when do you want to start making your move and really putting your foot down and trying to get that big score?
Yeah, you're trying to...
obviously you want to win every end, but...
Trying to create some breathing room around those last few ends. As Chris drops his weight slightly, but just folds off the high side of that bowl. You want to, you're focusing on creating a bit of breathing room around that end part of the set. So you can get a 3 or 4 lead around sort of end 7, end 8, and then try and just consolidate from there. You don't want to be chasing. At any stage of the game, you don't want to be chasing, especially not those last couple of ends. So, yeah, I would have thought through that middle stage of the set. As we see Ray here, something similar to his last. Just give it a nice high line. Let the weight do the work here for a counter. If it gets there, he's good.
This could be where he puts the screws in. Has it got there? It's close. But is it close enough? Chris surveys it. Just the 2. But Ray Pearce does take the lead for the first time in this set. He leads 3-2 after 4. 5 ends to play. That's the first multiple of the match so far. That's gone the way of the Tarrant Point exponent in Ray Pearce, the former right-at-home Jackaroo. See what he does with the length here, Baz. He's gone pretty long.
He sure has, Val. Yeah, that's quite long now. That'd be good 35 metres, 36 metres. He, traditionally, having played with and against Ray a fair bit, definitely does prefer the longer ends. Asia Pacific Games teammates back in 2019.
Yep.
And Ray and Nathan Rice ended up with silver in the pairs, just falling short to Gary Lawson and Shannon McElroy in one of the best games you'll see.
Some very high pedigree on that rink, that's for sure. Shannon McElroy, of course, the reigning world singles champion, won't be there on the Gold Coast in a few weeks' time. Andrew Kelly will be taking the mantle of the singles player for New Zealand, and Andrew, of course, the runner-up at the World Bowls Indoor Championships earlier this year from Warilla, where Aaron Sheriff got him in a tie-break. That was an unbelievable contest.
So Ray just falling short there. So where we are in the commentary box, for me, it's probably only 4 feet, 3 or 4 feet. It's only a couple of rotations, but the drama with those two bowls is they can really shut down a hand. So I'm thinking Ray may have to change to the backhand. See Chris coming up nicely onto the jack. So Ray's going to have to get on that hand because there's no doubt Chris is going to play that again. So Ray's trying to achieve a close bowl here, but at the same time he might be able to shut Chris down. He's just gone under here. So that extra length that Ray's rolled the jack to hasn't quite worked for him so far. And Chris has been able to make the most of it. So 1 foot in front of the other. Bend to the knees, nice and low, and good release for Chris Couchman. And he needs a clear run now. He'll be drawing another. Can he get past the front? Yes, he can. That's solid bowls from Chris Couchman. Crowd appreciating that work by Chris.
He's certainly not looked overawed by the situation here, which I think is the first step when you're playing someone who of the notoriety of Ray Pearce. You know, it can be very easy to be nervous and, as you said before, a bit fidgety. But he's not been at all. He's been really calm and relaxed, which is a great sign heading forward in the rest of this match.
Yeah, I like that from Ray. Just a bit of movement in the crowd, just resetting. Big bowl required here. So it's all about weight here for Ray. If he doesn't get the shot, he needs to stay around. I'll tell you what.
Barry, he is close.
If he can get back to the jack, 3 down, 2.
Oh, wow, that was mightily close. So 2 and a measure. There is an opportunity here for a full count, possibly, for Chris Couchman.
Yeah, doesn't get much closer than that. I know Ray will be thinking, yeah, I probably needed to play a little bit less weight and stay around, but when you're shaving the jack, you know, shadowing the jack, it's still a great effort. So Chris here, does he try and take the measure out? Does he try and play a little bit of an attacking draw? Just try and shift the jack 2 or 3 inches, make a 4, and make a statement. I am up for the task, Ray Pearce.
Be the best statement you could possibly make. Chris Couchman, it's on its way.
So he's with a free run at this.
Barry, he's not far away. He just needs the legs here.
Oh, it's a missed
He
opportunity.
just needs the legs, and it was slowing up halfway down the green, definitely 2, so he'll retake the lead, so the positive is there. Will this be a third, though, Barry Lester?
We need to keep that one in the forefront of our mind near the end of this set.
Yep,
So
we'll be putting an asterisk on this 5th end.
that was definitely a +1 that didn't make the scoreboard for Chris. He needs to move on from that, falling 6-7 feet short when he had 3 or 4 feet to add.
The thing is, he shouldn't be too frustrated because he is still going to be in front.
That's right. Focus
And
on
you
the
need-
positives.
You need to focus on those. So still 2. Could have been more, but it doesn't matter because he leads 4-3 and scores his first multiple of the match so far. But we will put an asterisk down next to that 5th end because how costly also could it have been? Nobody has won multiple ends yet. We've gone end for end. Chris has taken 1, 3 and 5 and Ray has taken 2 and 4.
Yeah, it's been tit for tat so far, Val. Ray went with the longer length, didn't quite work. And what I like about Chris here, he said, well, you know what, it worked for me, so I'm going to go long as well.
Why
So-
not?
And
It's already a very good start for Chris Couchman. He's got one behind. He's not overly close, but he'll take that because it's in a good home and he can work with it. Ray Pearce gets another opportunity at a look here.
So the first end in this direction as Ray Pearce draws a really good shot. Both players elected to play the other side of the ring. They've switched to the other side already. Shut down that narrow side already. I would expect Chris just to try and be there again here now that he's down. Just play a bit more aggressive. Contact the shot bowl or slide past. He's very close here. He's confident. He's left the chalk on the bowl. Has it worked? Almost. What a shot.
Very good start. He's on the tee, pretty much smack bang on it. And our marker Dennis just rubs the chalk off.
Ray in 2 minds here. Oh, I think he should stay on the backhand. This hand is fairly different, but a guy with Ray's ability will be able to adapt. So will he get back on that tighter side? And there it is. So it's a narrower line and it seems to be slightly slower. A lot of players pulling up on that yesterday, as we saw Greg Brown trying to put that back bowl in, and I think we saw a couple of the players sort of try and get behind on that forehand in this direction.
So Chris has gone with it too, but his line is a bit narrower than what Ray's was. Let's see where this one ends up, Barry. He's just going to come underneath, so it's a big question of who can find that line first in this direction on that tighter side.
So Ray has to switch hands, I feel. He has to get one where Dennis is standing. If Chris gets any jack movement, he's 3 down. So Ray needs to reset to his first bowl and just add a couple of feet. Even get to the tee wouldn't hurt. As we see, Chris has got no drama with reaching and trying to play any attacking bowls here because he's got 3 bowls past the jack already. And Ray Pearce, that is the box seat. Split the triangle and got 3rd shot. So now Chris has to be careful. Doesn't want to dislodge his own bowl for 2 down.
Does need to be careful here, you're right. Yeah, does Ray, or does he, what does he do here, Baz? What's the ideal scenario for him to get shot? Which hand does he go, and what weight does he use?
Yeah, I like what Chris did with his previous bowl. I like that weight. Just 1 yard, forehand or backhand, through the shot bowl or the jack. And you know what? This is another tactic I was nearly going to mention also. You could rip the bowl out if you want. Just go straight at it. You're back.
I was thinking that, and that's, I think, what he's going for here, Baz.
Just missing high. Because his second shot was fairly protected with large weight, whereas it wasn't protected with swinging weight. So he elected to go straight at it. For me, that weight, though, is very hard to play. So that was more of a timing weight than going straight at it. But once again, just from a body language point of view and a game tactic point of view, it shows to Ray that Chris isn't afraid to play that weight if required. So Ray's got to be conscious of that.
It's good. You've got to send those messages as well, even if you are down. How important is that to just say, no, don't get comfortable. Ray just pulls up short. So that'll just be a single to Ray Pearce. And after 6 ends, Barry Lester, we're at 4 apiece. Now, yeah, what is it? How important is it to send that message not to relax your opponent?
Well, probably the best highlight we could show from yesterday's day wasn't an actual bowl or a bowl coming down the green or anything or any sort of in-play activity. The best message we saw yesterday from any of the players was Samantha Atkinson when she sat the shot bowl, the post-shot celebration. What that message showed to the bowls, people out there watching, what it showed to the people in the crowd, what it showed to her opponent was, I'm in this game, I'm up and about. It always reminds me of Adam Scott when he sunk that putt to win to make the playoff at the Masters. He never lets emotion out. Adam Scott never shows emotion, never lets it out. But when it came down to that moment, he did. Samantha Atkinson yesterday played a screamer, and she let it all out.
Exactly.
And then you could see she was just owning the environment. So don't suffocate your emotion, let it out. Really feel comfortable with the environment you're in, and that was a highlight for me yesterday. So
Chris Couchman, well, Razor has made the length change, and Chris has absolutely nailed it.
And we're going to see a lot of that, Val, at the World Championships. You're going to see some fist pumps. You're going to see the high-fiving, from all the countries, giving it their all. And that's the beauty of some of these TV games where you get to commentate and the people at home get to watch.
You and I are going to be very comfortable with each other by the end of the fortnight, I think, Baz.
Absolutely. You go
looking forward to it.
Yeah, you go on that emotional roller coaster with the players, and you can see how they're feeling. And so for Samantha yesterday to let that out and celebrate, it was great. It was a great highlight. I'm sure it's great collateral now for BA moving forward. I love seeing that. So as we see Chris here try to back it up, he just doesn't want to spring the jack. Well, that's pretty good.
What he wanted. He's got one now that his first bowl is now tucked in behind. Now, let's see what Ray Pearce can do. He's gone at it.
Forehand needs to get down. So no mucking around from Ray.
Now, what does Chris do here? Because he's got too close, but Ray, he may go at it again.
Yeah, I think if Chris puts one right on the tee, so there's a difference between putting one 4 feet away from the tee and one right on the tee, because guess what? Ray Pearce, he's just got that ability where he can nail the jack. So Chris here, he wants to really put one right on the tee and then make Ray play a different shot. So Ray's last bowl will have to be an absolute screamer here. You're starting to... Good shot from Chris. You're starting to think about shots like spring and run or halve and run. Can both bowls go clean? Highly unlikely, but this is where the experience of Ray and his singles comes into play. You might see something like 6 feet away here, trying to work into the front bowl, spring the jack and run on. So
understanding the situation here, Chris Couchman, and you heard that round of applause, and often you think, why he's not gone close to the jack? Why are we applauding that? Because he's smack bang on the tee. He's understanding the conditions of play and what the tactics are. Ray Pearce. We saw Aaron Sheriff nestle one in last year against Aaron Tees. What can Ray Pearce conjure up? Just gone too high.
So in retrospect, probably Ray would have loved to have maybe got to the tee with his third bowl. So if Ray had have owned the tee with his third and played a solid runner, then that creates the opportunity to maybe go again. But with Ray's great weighted game, he backed himself. And that's what we spoke about, Val, yesterday. At the end of the day, you don't want to be in two minds and you don't want any doubt creeping in. So whatever you see, back yourself and go for it.
Muscle memory here for Chris Couchman from his first 2 bowls. That is all that is required to score a 3.
So Ray Pearce, 2 ends ago, went long, and Chris scored a 2. Ray Pearce has gone short, and Chris has scored a...
It's looking good. It's looking good.
3.
Has he done enough?
Oh, it looks good from where we are.
2 taken out.
Maybe not. They're going to measure. So it just goes to show Ray's trying to create a length, play a length that sort of brings him into the game and takes Chris out. And Chris has had the answers so far.
Well, every length change that Razor has produced, it's pretty much gone the way of Chris, but the problem is no one has won back-to-back ends. So anytime one of them has had final bowl, they've actually made use of it. And we had this discussion yesterday.
Yes.
That's just a 2, but he leads by 2. Does Chris Couchman. He leads 6-4 with 2 ends to play in this opening stanza. He's looked unperturbed by the situation. Can he put a stranglehold on things?
Very impressed with Chris so far. I like the fact that, yes, he dropped a 1 going this way previously, but he still played 3 or 4 really good bowls. Yes, he ran with his last, but he's backing himself to play that longer length, put bowls up in the area, finding that sweet spot. So just putting that jack in that area where cosmetically you feel comfortable, you can look up and know that that's somewhere where you can consistently put bowls around the jack. And sometimes to break your opponent's rhythm or pattern, putting a jack in a foreign area, so really short or really long, can break that up. And you see Chris there putting a bowl inside a foot with his first. That's exactly what you want to do. Start building some pressure early. What a reply from Ray.
Very handy reply from Ray Pearce.
Quality action so far. Both players really playing well. 10 shots scored in the 7 ends played.
Been mightily impressed, Baz.
Yeah, Chris Couchman, he's loving this backhand in this direction. If he can get off his own bowl, he will score. There you go. Could be enough. It's close.
I think it might just be out.
Dennis Agnew,
Yep.
yeah, he's having a good look.
Measure and very close. They're his words. Dennis, a member here at Club Tweed. And a big thank you to all the markers and volunteers this week for all of the work that they've done, because it's the lifeblood of the sport. Barry?
Yeah, volunteers, can't do it without them. And Tweed Heads, with their huge membership base, every time you come and compete here, you always see dozens of volunteers running around helping out.
This club is, there's only one word for it, it's gargantuan on every level. The membership base, the quality of bowls that they produce, and the amount of greens that they have for outdoor, and this magnificent indoor facility that has seen the Australian Indoor Championships been staged for so many years and seen some of the greatest players that the country has ever seen grace these greens.
Speaking of great players, as we see a legend enter the venue, Robbie Perella.
Yes, it is. And a literal legend. Bowls Australia Hall of Fame legend.
Inducted last year.
Yep.
So there's Robbie Perella, the great man himself.
Now, let's see if Ray or Chris pull out a drive just for Rob Perella.
Yeah, so Chris Couchman, it's a bit of a unique situation here. He wants to try and, as that question you asked me earlier, Val, about getting a little bit more of a margin. So he knows 2's probably not going to be enough. And if he's down 1 here, 1's probably not going to be enough to really walk away with his set. So can he play a little split and run for the jack here and dislodge Ray Pearce's bowl?
Let's see what he's got.
He's going to miss under. He needs to pass, though.
He will. Yes, he will.
I'd love to see Ray come down and have a look. It's very important to know whether he actually has shot or not versus a measure. But Razor, forehand, looking to turn his own shot bowl, get another one in behind. He's played this very well.
He has. But it is going to come over the top.
That helps.
Or is it? No, that's not too bad at all.
I think he wins 4th there. Sorry, 3rd. So that's important.
Look at this head. Now, where is Chris going here, Barry?
Well, if he gets the shot bowl, or if it's the shot, if he gets the shot bowl of Ray Pearce's through the jack, he'll outnumber Ray 3-1. And then after that, it's just a matter of getting a bit of luck. He said it in the pre-game. Just need a bit of luck.
He's not happy with this at all.
He's turning away.
Doesn't want to hit anything of his own.
This is huge, whoever has shot here.
Or can Ray Pearce now, is there a possibility for him to sit that bowl of Chris Couchman and stay there and take a 3?
No doubt. If this was a computer game and, you know, you could just play it to perfection, you just sit that blue bowl and make 3. There's no doubt about it. But you only need to be half a bowl or a full bowl away from it, and you can drop a 2 or 3. So Ray doesn't want to be a bowl high, turn his white bowl through the jack 2 down. But depending whether he's got shot or not, it's so close. So that will depend on how he approaches this head.
Bit of frustration there from Chris Couchman as well. Don't think he's too happy with how this end has gone, but let's see what happens here with Ray Pearce.
So Ray Pearce looking to turn his shot bowl over to take this measure out. Or can he get to the split? Ray Pearce trying hard. Can he get to the split? He's...
Ray Pearce, oh my word, that was close.
Yeah, I think he's
That's
taken
shot.
the measure out. That's right. Just nudged his own bowl enough. Perfect weight, Val, just to get into that split or just turn Chris out. Huge effort.
So, a 1 to Ray Pearce, and we continue this tango. Nobody has won multiple ends in a row as of yet. And they've split it at 4 each. However, Chris Couchman boasts a 1-shot advantage with 1 end to play. We continue this long end trend. Chris will like that situation, I guess, Baz, because he will have the final bowl, so he's going to have a chance to win this set.
That's right. He's gone long again, and he's elected the backhand, so I really like that.
He's close too.
And how good's that for a changeover? First bowl inside a foot, ditch to ditch. Just that game now, it's that game experience. He knew that forehand previously long in this direction. He didn't quite nail it, and Chris did. And he's actually forced Chris to change hands. So I didn't expect that from Chris. He played a really good end on the backhand when they played long 2 or 3 ends ago, and he switched over to the forehand. You'll see Ray try and nail this jack here. He knows if he can get one right on top of it. Really force the pressure onto Chris. Yeah, good body language from Ray. Stepping out wide, stalking this. He's close here.
Not far at all. Ray Pearce.
Well, I don't mind that. I don't mind that because as it was sitting previously, it was a bit of an attacking kind of style head. Now this has really left Chris to try and dead draw this. And Chris has to find a yard of line and a yard of weight. So a huge correction required.
Bit of frustration, though, from Ray Pearce.
He wanted it in the heart. He wanted that jack in the heart.
He's a
there, Val.
perfectionist.
He knew if he had that jack in the heart, he'd shut this head down.
Chris Couchman needs it to pull up. Has it done enough? It has not.
We're going to see Dennis Agnew get in there and have a good look for us. Tricky one.
Very close, apparently.
Favours Ray.
Yep. It seems as though that jack high bowl is closer by the camera angles that we've got as well.
Ray Pearce, something similar. A little trot after this. If Ray draws this and wins this set, you're going to see a lot more longer ends, and Ray playing this backhand because he's played 3 decent bowls here. Just holding out on him.
So Chris Couchman is going to have to pull something out here because Ray, you know that he's going to make that correction.
Chris Couchman, forehand on a higher line. Needs dead weight now. As you can see, he's out to the chalk line of the peg, but he's pulled up short.
So now he knows he's got a little bit of a guide as to where he needs to correct to, or has he gotten in his way? in his own way.
Yeah,
Should be okay.
As I said, I think it was 3 ends ago, Val, in this direction, on a long end, Chris scored 2, and they're all down on the backhand. And he's now played 3 forehand deliveries in this direction, and he hasn't been able to get close. So switching that hand and changing the makeup of things really can play a huge part in your consistency. And Ray needs to get under his last.
Good tactics from Ray Pearce.
Or promote it.
Well, that'll do.
Is that enough for 2? 1 and a measure. So Ray Pearce could be holding set or draw set. As Chris gets in there for a closer look.
Surveys it. Now, this is a massive bowl because he's led for the majority of the set. Ray Pearce led after end number 4, and that's the only time he has been in front on the scoreboard. Been tied a couple of times, but Chris Couchman has been in somewhat control. But Ray Pearce, like all the wonderful players that we see, they ask the question. But does Chris Couchman have the answer?
Yeah, this is what all your training's for, your practice, you know, all that mindfulness, just to be able to get your confidence to a level on the back of your training where you can look at this kind of shot and back yourself. So for Chris Couchman, does he start fresh? Does he try a new tactic? Does he try and rip the bowls out? So many options available here. The 3 forehand draws haven't worked. So does he start fresh with something completely different? We'll soon find out. For me, it looks like he's playing some weight here. If he gets both Ray Pearce's bowls, or at least one of them.
He likes this, Barry.
He's close here.
He's not far away, Chris Couchman.
He's got it. Wow, he's got the bowl that was shot. Now we're left for that measure.
Oh, I dare say we have a drawn set here. Ray reckons it's his.
Well, Ray's saying 1. Is he saying 1 for him or 1 to Chris?
It was pointing 1 up, so, and he seems very confident about it. And that is 1 to red. Are we going to get the measure? No.
So the winner of that end. Oh, Ray Pearce has got 1.
Got one.
So that's his drawn set.
Yep, and that is the first time that someone has taken 2 ends in a row. What a time to do it for Ray Pearce. He saved the set, and now we pretty much get a 1-set shootout for who is going to be our winner. And let's have a look at some of the highlights here from set 1. And Ray Pearce, some great conversions early on to take a lead after end number 4 for Chris Couchman. Have a look at some of those in some pretty congested heads, scoring a couple of multiples himself. He was absolutely sensational, leading for the majority of it, but Ray Pearce winning the final 2 ends with singles, tying things up at 6-all, and this is exactly what happened against Aaron Sheriff. 8-all in the first set there, and 6-all in the first set here. Darren Gordon awaits the victor. And it is as close as ever, but Ray Pearce just showed a bit of tactical nous in that last end, didn't he, Baz, by switching to the backhand, which has been very successful for Chris Couchman.
Yeah, history would show, if you went back through a lot of the TV games, that forehand for right-handers in that direction would be the most popular side. But Ray just didn't quite find it on the longer length in previous ends. So once he rolled that long jack, he knew that he had to switch to that backhand, start fresh, and it worked. He played probably 3 out of 4 really decent bowls. So that's going to be something we might see from Ray moving forward. Backhand away from the club, long lengths. This one's about a 3/4 length, around the 30-metre mark. As we see Ray's bowl just finishing under the line, a foot short. Chris needs to take 2 feet off here. It's going to be enough for shot, but still a little bit of room there for Ray.
Ray Pearce will be, I think he'd be very pleased with that result to draw that set. Whereas Chris might be ruining the fact that we mentioned that 5th end, Baz, he still scored a 2, but we said put an asterisk next to it, the fact that he couldn't convert for that third when he had a lot of room. How much or how he would wish he converted that third.
Yeah, and the viewers watching today might have suggested that there was a fair bit of room for Chris to try and draw the shot there. But you can only play to the conditions. If you haven't been confident in what you're doing on a certain hand or a certain length, sometimes you've got to make a fresh start. You see another great draw bowl there from Chris Couchman, and he backed himself to play a runner, and he plucked one bowl out there to go from actually set down to drawing the set. So that's been a good part of Chris's game so far. He's backed himself to convert, to play weight, and then he can go back and do what he's done here and put 2 bowls inside 18 inches. As Ray needs to find a bit of weight here. There is a gap.
Ray Pearce.
He doesn't want the gap now.
He hasn't found it, has he? He has.
Yeah.
And he can't quite believe it.
Good weight just to be there, try and sit, trail, and he's found the gap.
Well, this is massive now for Chris Couchman, because if he converts the 3 and just rebounds nicely from that opening set, a bit of a disappointment that he didn't win it, but this is the perfect way to respond, because it's essentially like he's won the first set, because whoever wins this set wins the match.
Yeah, definitely. He's got, I reckon, exactly 2 feet to draw another here. He's got to make the most of that. These are those plus shots, those surplus shots that you can get throughout a match when you're left with a room like that. You're not going to see Ray Pearce very often leave you a couple of feet of room.
Here we go, Chris Couchman. Is he going too quick, or is he going to sit and stay?
Oh, it's close.
Well, he might have knocked one in, one out. So definitely 2. But will this be a third? Definitely not 4. I think that back bowl of Chris's is surely out.
Yeah, I think it's just the 2. A few people make their way in. Crowds are building.
Yep. Is that another one where he might rue the opportunity that he hasn't scored a 3, Baz? Because it was there for him.
He couldn't have played it much better other than being... Because, see, if the bowl was laying down, the one he just hit or ran into...
It's not moving.
It's not moving as far, so he gave it a chance. Good positive draw. Just didn't come off, so...
Just 2.
Good solid 2, though, as we see Samantha Atkinson, our women's finalist, enter the venue this morning. I like to see that. Come in, just get adapted to the conditions, even just from a temperature point of view, mingle with the crowd, and really soak it all in. You could quite easily see from both the opponents yesterday, from Samantha and young Reese, that there was a bit of nerves there, and I think one quick way to reduce all that is just to really soak in the environment, take it all in.
She has already been here this morning as well, just getting her new kit. She was blue yesterday, she's red today. So Chris Couchman drawn the first set with Ray Pearce. He leads 2-0 in the second. 8 ends to play, including this one.
So the jack is about 5 metres up from the tee. Hence the reason I think why Ray's playing forehand. There's a good shoulder through that patch of the green there. He's just looking for some weight now. He's absolutely nailed the line. So he's confident definitely with that shorter jack on the forehand. But that hand's probably now shut down. And that is a perfect example, especially for team events, where the lead needs to be past jack. One bowl can shut down a hand and reduce the opportunity for your teammates and restrict their opportunities. Where's Chris changing over to the backhand? I think he's close here, Val.
Not far at all. The backhand has worked for him, bowling in this direction. And he's right on the money.
Ray just looking to crowd that shot bowl of Chris's now. Put something near it. Start building a head that is more favourable to play to. Slide in behind. Nice reply there from Ray.
What's the gap, good one?
Chris has done really well here this match, not only to be able to match it with Ray, but what I've really liked is just his drawing consistency. So being able to put 2 or 3 bowls most ends in that inside that 2 foot mark, that's where it's really won. Bit of a strut after this one.
Yep.
Good body language.
We haven't seen this too much from Chris this morning, have we?
No, he's definitely feeling it now. Look at this.
Oh, he is feeling it. He's holding 2. And Ray Pearce has been asked a very big question.
This is another one of those examples. Weight is required. Do you play weight to the tee? You just get straight through it. So I think he's sort of playing more control weight, trying to stay around here, Ray Pearce. If he clears the front, he's in the area. Well, he's got that one back through to the tee, so that's plan B. I think that's why he elected that weight. That was definitely staying on the green, that one from Ray.
And now that he's got the tee, he has he's got a chance to go for it because the target is there, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. Both bowls clean for 2 or jack back for 1 on the tee. And Ray...
What does Chris do? Does he cover the tee now?
Yes, he does. Yes, there's no doubt about it. Because what that does is it starts to play in Ray's mind of what weight to play. As long as that tee's covered, Ray then has to be very conscious of what weight he has to play. So we'll see Chris forehand. I think he'll try and finish on the high side of the line too. And he's definitely up, but he's under. Wow, Chris is playing a tight line to that tee. Wow. I thought he was nearly crashing on Ray's front bowl.
Looked like he might have been. Now, has it pulled up in time? I think it has. So if this goes to the tee...
Ray Pearce.
Yep, that is going to be 1 to Chris.
Does he play a trail forehand or rips both bowls out? He's into this. He's got the wind up. Ray Pearce.
He likes it.
Looking for both bowls. What a shot, Ray Pearce.
That's as good as you'll see. Shot of the day so far from Ray Pearce.
Yeah, he'll be playing that one back a few times if he goes on and wins this event. That is a great shot. Looking down the barrel of 4-0 down in this second set. And he plays a clutch bowl, 2 down, 2 up.
You called it perfectly, Baz. You said he goes at it, gets both out. The opportunity was there.
Yeah, straight down the line, forehand, solid weight, having the confidence of playing that shot, knowing he's got the back bowl. So as much as his last bowl was a terrific shot, Ray Pearce's third bowl was nearly as good. Staying on the green, having that back bowl. So in sets play and with playing to a tee, can't afford to waste bowls on the bank. No good to anyone. And that's Ray's experience.
6 all and 2 apiece. We are deadlocked in every single way here at Club Tweed. And I love the steely look in Ray's eye after he hit that. He didn't celebrate. He said, no, I'm not celebrating. My job is not done yet.
Yeah, great technique there from Ray. Just shoulders nice and square to his target. You can see the release straight down the centre line, body moving forward. It's a shot he's played so many times before, not only in singles but at backhand level as a skip or a third at many levels of the game. And he played it when it mattered, as he was a little bit frustrated, falling 2 feet short with his first. He really wants to grab the momentum, Ray Pearce. After a shot like that, you want to get 1 or 2 of your first bowls right on the jack there. So he's close here, Ray. He's definitely made a correction, either under for the jack or promote. He's done it well.
So he's starting to tighten the screws at the moment, Ray Pearce. He was staring down the barrel of a 0-4 deficit. But Chris Couchman has been unwavering in his composure this morning. But has that last end, has it changed things, Barry?
Yeah, this is a pretty good shot from Chris, considering his opening bowl was on the other side of the ring. So it's a good adjustment. Forehand, backhand.
Good weight.
Yeah, putting one inside 18 inches. Yeah, Ray can just slide past here. Another counter would be good, but if you can just get behind, I think you'll see Chris is probably going to start niggling into this head sooner or later, as Ray almost draws another. So Chris, no communication with the marker. He's into this here. He's looking for both bowls, playing some weight himself. He's playing backhand towards his home bowl. That's always the only negative, playing weight towards your own bowl. He needs to leave it alone. Well, he's hung on for that shot bowl and created a couple of back bowls.
Yeah. So this is a precarious end here. It's probably the biggest end of the match so far. See who can try and gain that ascendancy. Only one player, or on one occasion, has someone won multiple ends in a row, and that's Ray Pearce, who scored 2 singles to finish that opening set and draw things.
Okay, Val, this is, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this head. So Ray Pearce is holding one. That would take him to 3-2 in this set, which is great. He can trail the jack for 3 on his forehand, or sit Chris's bowl for 4 if he would like. But even if he does sit Chris's bowl for 4, he will be down. He'll be holding 4, but he'll be down 3 at the back. So this is where the offense-defense play comes into it. So Ray can try and get one back, say back near the tee. Then Chris is forced to go, well, wait a minute, do I play weight because I don't want to pluck my own out for 3 down? So this is that game of chess now. We're really getting right into this singles level. And this is where these titles are won. You can play as good as you like, but decision-making is so vital. So Ray Pearce.
And he's gone to the back here, Baz.
I think he was looking for the bowler jack, but plan B, look at this beautiful weight control. Plan B, you nestle into a great spot, and now forces Chris to try and dictate what he wants to do with his weight control.
So now what is he doing? What is the best thing for Chris to do now? Does he sit that Ray Pearce bowl? Does he go for dead draw weight, which is going to be difficult considering there are obstacles there? What would you be doing in this situation?
For me, I think it's just a forehand flat draw. Because he can't afford to take his own bowl out for 3 down. But if he is going to play weight, it cannot be backhand. It has to be forehand, play away from your own bowl. And if he gets Ray Pearce's bowl out clean, he may take the others out. There is a shot here, though, for a Ryan Bester or a Matty Flapper or that. You could go flat out for the jack and take the back bowl out for 3. I don't think... Okay. All right, so it's forehand it is. Promote his own bowl. Or draw the shot. He is quick. He doesn't want to shave the jack.
He nearly did.
Chris Couchman, he's giving me more grey hairs, Val.
You got a lot more to grow to match me, Baz, in the grey hair department. Don't you worry about that. But wonder Ray Pearce, and he again wins multiple ends in a row and takes the lead 3-2 after 3 in the second set here at Club Tweed. This has been a really interesting encounter. It's been cat and mouse, but Ray Pearce has won 4 of the last 5 ends, and he's starting to tighten the screws a little bit on Chris Couchman. We still sit at almost level pegging, but this has been a sensational contest so far. Let's see what this end can produce. End 4, the players will start to try and move things around and see how they can get ahead.
So Matt on the tee, jack length, 34 metres, quite a long length. Ray just missing under here. So good weight, he'll be happy with that weight, just missing his line. So over that distance, 34 metres, and missing your line by a couple of feet like that, you're only talking a couple of inches of grass, or in this case, carpet. So minor correction required. Chris Couchman also on the forehand. Having a good look at this. It's a nice starter. Just sliding past and behind the jack. That's a beautiful shot, Chris Couchman. So Ray Pearce, minor correction required, forehand. Same weight, fraction more line. And as we saw yesterday, forehand in this direction, the majority of short bowls for both directions are the forehand in this direction. So it's something that is sort of affecting most players over the last couple of days, the forehand in this direction.
So Chris Couchman has a chance to solidify things.
Yeah, good option for Chris. I like this. He's got the shot. Ray's only got one hand left now, and that is the backhand in this direction. Even if Chris doesn't draw it, he may affect Ray's path to the jack. Even if he pulled up a foot or two short here. So he's on a good line, just pulling up short. Still think there's a clean run to the jack for Ray.
Like bowling in this direction the last time. Chris holding 2. Can Ray Pearce rectify the situation? I still have no idea who's going to come up with the chocolates here, Barry. It's been cat and mouse the entire contest.
Ray Pearce, yes, no doubt, Val. Ray Pearce just starting fresh on that backhand. Played a pretty good bowl. If it falls over, it might cut one out.
I reckon he has. It's close. The weight was nigh on perfect.
Ray stepping off the rink there to just a little courtesy to Chris. He knew he probably wasn't going to make it to the head in time. So just getting off the rink there, allowing Chris to play his shot at his speed. Now Chris now, no harm in falling short here, just affecting Ray's run to the jack. He's going to get down.
I reckon he's going to get there.
That's great bowling. 3 bowls inside 18 inches, over 34 metres.
All effective.
Ray Pearce got a bit to do here. Real positive from his last. Great weight control. Just needs to bring it in a couple of inches. Back himself here, Ray.
Seen Ray Pearce in this situation on many other occasions, and he's delivered.
Definitely tighter. Weight looks similar. Ray Pearce, he's not far away here.
He's very close, Barry. He likes it. He's hunched over.
He needs the jack. Ray Pearce, what a shot. That's as good as it gets under this pressure. Might be 1 down, still 3 down.
Nope, he's 1 up.
To 1 up.
And that is as monumental as it gets for Ray Pearce. There was a minuscule gap for him to work with, and he could say he pierced through it.
Yes, good call, Val. His third bowl was the real important factor there. He had to play one that really reminded him what to do with his next. Had great weight control, kept that, brought it in a bowl, corrected his line, and a player of that ability can do that.
Is that the straw that maybe breaks the camel's back here? Because Chris Couchman has not done much wrong, but the way that Ray Pearce has answered every single question he's asked in this set may make things difficult. Who knows? He's got a big bowl ahead of him now for Chris.
Forehand, looking for clean jack movement. Needs to clear the front.
He's close. Oh, just edging off the front. Ray Pearce wins a 3rd end in a row and a 5th from the last 6. 4-2 is his lead in this second set with 5 ends to play.
Yeah, 3 effective bowls from Chris, just the 1 from Ray, but the one that matters. We saw that quite often yesterday. Some players scratching around with their first couple, and you know, I don't like to keep going over my quotes, but it's not so much how many you play, it's when you play them, and that's those pressure acts. You can almost double what they're worth. 3 down to 1 up in this environment is what it's all about. Ray Pearce is trying to really strike rhythm here. As soon as that jack pulled up, he was ready to go. Release of the bowl. Just flowing through there. So just 4 feet through, he's nailed the line. Ray just having a good stare at that one. As Chris starts to look at the scoreboard and know the circumstance of this game, he has to start searching a little bit now. So for Ray to finish behind early is not a bad thing. His draw game's been rock solid, as Chris Couchman.
has, his lead bowls have been sensational. His first couple have set things up and they've really made Ray Pearce pull out some remarkable shots. But he has been able to do it, and that's been the difference in this set so far.
Yeah, Ray turned his back on that one early. Hasn't quite nailed jack high weight this direction, Ray. He knows that. He's just sort of staring at that, thinking, what have I got to do to get jack high weight in this direction? He knows he wants to tighten that up. Don't think he'll switch forehand, though. As Chris Couchman draws another.
Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Damien Delgado watching on as well, Barry.
Yeah, great to see.
Playing in a couple of weeks at the World Bowls Championships with Jimmy Reynolds in the inaugural para tournament, which is absolutely sensational to see the para bowlers getting their crack and getting their shot at world glory.
Has Ray found the weight he's looking for?
Just
He
under.
hasn't. So just the overs and unders.
The line was looking good though.
All three lines have been nice. You can see all three bowls standing up there, all five bowls, but
Where's Chris going now, Baz?
he has to switch. So Ray's forced to switch with that, what I call bogey bowl, just in that shoulder of the head. And Chris needs to apply more pressure here if he wants to get in front for this set.
Tell you what,
Passes the front, he's going to count. Has he got enough?
yeah, he does. So he's holding 3 currently. Ray Pearce really needs to get one in here because there is an opportunity for Chris Couchman.
Ray Pearce,
Look at this.
fresh switch. Backhand, backhand, backhand.
Is he over the
forehand.
top? He's over the top now. An opportunity for Chris Couchman to secure a full count and take the lead.
Ray, a little bit of steam popping out there. He won't be happy, but I know Ray will also stay composed now. He knows there's a fight on here. That's Chris Couchman. 3 effective bowls last end, 3 effective bowls so far this end. And Ray Pearce doesn't have the reply. So Chris Couchman, can he make a full count? These are those +1s. At this level, you've got to make the most of.
And it's the opportunity that he's missed a couple of times. So this is a massive bowl in the scheme of things. He's looking pretty close, Barry Lester. He's looking very close, Chris Couchman, and it's the best of the lot. A full count secured. And Chris Couchman turns things completely around. 4-2 down, 6-4 up.
Yeah, 8 drawn bowls and a full count. So Ray Pearce just having a bit of an end off there. And Ray Pearce now needs to, from a mental side of things, needs to go back to the previous end. His last bowl, 3 down to 1 up, played a beautiful draw shot, trailed that jack. Grab your most recent positive experience, get it forefront of your mind and turn things around. 4 down, move forward, grab the positives and reset.
So looking at the score trends here, Barry, so the last 4 ends that Chris Couchman has scored on have been a 2, a 2, a 2 and a 4. He's scoring in multiples. Ray Pearce, the last 6 ends that he's scored on, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. And there's the difference right there. Chris has continued to ask the question, yes, Ray has pulled out some amazing bowls, but he's only scoring in singles. Chris has been able to get those multiples and keep himself in the contest, and he has performed magnificently well.
Yeah, that's so true, Val. Good stats there. It's all about that critical mass, the bowls in the head. You know, you hear that at all levels. Bowls in the head win matches. And
That's what he's done.
Chris has been able to have a higher percentage than Ray in that critical area, which has been able to help him score those multiples. Ray coming up with some clutch plays to score those singles. So a nice reply from Ray there. And Chris just falling short on this occasion.
Of course, a win, Barry Lester, means, or a win of this title means a trip to Guernsey next year to play in the World Bowls Indoor Championships.
Well, that just gets even better.
Yep,
An overseas trip.
yep.
Yeah, that's not a bad feeling when Bowls Australia emailing asking what size clothing are you to wear a bit of green and gold on behalf of Australia at the World Indoor Singles.
It's pretty amazing. And of course, you get that extra event in the mixed pairs now as well, which Aaron Sheriff and Kelsey Cottrell were fantastic enough to win this year, defeating Scotland in that final.
So Chris Couchman, 2 bowls on the forehand so far.
Aaron Sheriff will also be there next year.
Thought he'd play backhand there, try and close that hand off for Ray. As Ray's only got the backhand left, thought Chris may have tried to get in his eye down there. He's left it open still. So Chris, not sure what that shot was. Maybe he was fearful of trailing Jack for 1 down, but as we see Ray Pearce here, he played it 2 ends ago in this direction.
He did.
He trailed the Jack. He's close here. He is so close.
He's not far at all. We've got a great view of this, Barry. He needs to clear his front.
He's got it. Ray Pearce.
It's as good as it gets. He has pulled this out time and time again this morning. What a shot.
Yeah, so Chris Couchman with his 3rd delivery left that open for Ray. I didn't know what Chris was doing with his 3rd bowl. I thought he'd just try and shut that off for Ray. Left it open. Ray took his opportunity. So that's that offensive, defensive mindset. Chris with his 3rd was a bit defensive. Instead of creating an offensive play there to take it away from Ray. But he finds himself 1 down. Big bowl required here. Forehand, draw shot. Body language is pretty stagnant. Don't know if he's there.
Needs it to run.
Has he got the legs? Well,
It's going, but it...
not quite.
Oh, he's just pulled up, but it's enough for 2nd. But Ray Pearce with a chance to tie the set.
Ray halfway down the green here, just looking at it from another view. Looked at it from the head, looked at it halfway. He knows this is a big bowl. 2 shots is massive. He's got the last bowl, so it's a +1. But he's got to stay away from that front bowler, Chris Couchman's. So this is going to be a high draw. This is where you got to... No, it's going to be backhand. So he's got to try and focus on turning his 2nd nearest bowl in here. So backhand it is. Something similar to his previous delivery. If he can get a clear run around the front, and then any promotion of his 2nd nearest bowl, Ray Pearce has played this very well. Any promotion, he's done it.
Yeah, that'll do. It looks as though that's 2.
Ray Pearce, 2 clutch bowls with his 3rd and 4th deliveries.
Let's wait for Dennis to confirm this, and he does. That is a 2. And Barry Lester, we sit at 6-all in the 1st set, and with 3 ends to play in the 2nd, it's 6-all. This has been a titanic tussle. And Ray Pearce, again, just knowing that there is still a job to do. Are we going to get another tie break here? A literal tie break?
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Both players, to be fair, have deserved a tie break. You know, to force this to another draw in this set, Ray Pearce hasn't quite found it. He had that end off 2 ends ago in this direction. Ray said, you know what, I'm going to try something new here. I'm going to go with the deeper Jack. Maybe that's something that might work. I'll stick with the backhand, but I'll try a new length. His bowls brains and his bowls nous trying to come into play here. Not too bad over that distance, still that yard, and Ray is frustrated with that result. More so that probably shuts that hand down.
So, Chris Couchman, pressure back on. He's, of the 6 ends that we've played, he's only won 2 of them, but the fact that he scored a 2 and a 4, he's made the most of his opportunities.
I don't know what's happening here. Wow, Chris Couchman.
That hurts.
He had a forehand, open hand, 6 feet of room. And he's promoted Ray Pearce's bowl up, not only to be one down, but not have a bowl on or beyond the jack at this stage of the match.
So got Thomas, that is watching on the side, playing with his Lego and watching Dad. Chris Couchman, of course, travelling with his son up here and his parents as well.
So full reset required here. Forehand. 35-metre length. Chris Couchman needs to compose himself here after that disappointing first bowl. If he reaches, he's got the shot. It's labouring. No, still 2 down. So Chris Couchman just showing some early signs here of maybe some scoreboard jitters. Bit of extra movement around the back of the mat there, getting his pace up. This is where, for Chris, it's just got to think about it, all the positives that's happened so far.
And he's even with Ray Pearce. Like, this is a fantastic performance. He just needs to keep thinking that. He's like, I've come so far. I've just got to keep doing what I've been doing.
Yeah, Ray might have tapped that bowl in for second shot there.
He goes and sits next to one of his mates.
Okay,
Chris
Couchman, same line, needs 2 feet of weight for shot here. Looks to be on a tighter line.
And he's walking down behind it, Barry.
Well, is he going to be... No, so that's 3 short bowls from Chris. Finds himself 1 down. That's his best one, though. Gives him some form of confidence knowing he only has to add a foot for shot. So,
and he looked confident there at the end there with
Yeah.
his body language. He just said, okay, you know, it was short, but I know what I've got to do now.
Ray Pearce needs to go back to his second delivery. Just try and flirt with that jack. If you can trail it 18 inches, he makes 3. Okay, needs a clear road now. Needs to avoid connection. Okay, Ray Pearce holding 1.
So Chris Couchman, this is a huge bowl in the context of this match. Because 6-all, 2 ends to play after this first set tied. Whoever wins this set wins the match.
So grab the positives from your previous delivery, and that is his line will be good enough. It just needs to find a foot of weight. Where do you get that weight from? Is it in the speed of your swing? Is it in the body weight? For Chris, just focus on getting the bowl away, pressing into this nicely. Good release. If he's got the weight, I think from there he shouldn't be too far away. It's a nice line.
This is a good line, Barry Lester.
Has he corrected from his previous delivery? Chris Couchman has. What a shot.
That is, and again, the 4th bowl bowling in this direction. Chris Couchman, take a bow. That is magnificent. 1 up. Needed 3 sighters, but he got there in the end. And as we commence the penultimate end, he leads by 1. He has made this a wonderful contest. A little fist pump there as well.
So, Chris Couchman, jack in motion. What are we looking at here? About 30 metres. So, what will we see? Yes, forehand it is. Composure, mindset, technique, routine, all those fundamentals that you put into the game in your training. This is where they are needed most. It's a steady start, just sliding through a yard. Ray Pearce on the forehand. Looks to be under. He's backing away from this. It's not getting away too much. Weight's very good.
So the scenario now, Chris Couchman wins this end. It makes things much more difficult for Ray Pearce to to get that result. If he scores a single, then Ray will need a 2 to tie it, a 3 to win it. Ray Pearce gets a single on this end, and we go into the final end of the match. It's just a one-end shootout.
Yeah, and this is where the mindset changes from where you've probably been throughout the match, especially if you're Ray. Ray knows that, yes, okay, he has to play good bowls to either level the score or get in front, but those bowls need to be on or beyond. He needs to be giving his bowl a chance.
Chris Couchman.
So Ray Pearce, similar weight, maybe 18 inches to 2 feet. This bowl here, he'll know if he doesn't get shot now, it needs to be past the jack. Can Ray Pearce trail this jack? He's close. What a shot, Ray Pearce.
So good.
That's what we were talking about. Give it a chance, beyond and beyond. And if you're not getting the shot, just put it into good areas. Has he stuck with it, though? Dennis Agnew having a good look for us. One blue. So Ray Pearce.
It's a good effort. I really thought he had enough on it.
Has the last bowl this end.
Yep. Do we want a single to go to that one bowl shootout, or do we want a tie break? This match deserves a tie break.
Yeah, well, I believe it does. Yeah, I'm with you, Val.
It's been sensational. We want it to keep going.
Chris Couchman needs to avoid the front.
I think, he's almost gotten past.
He hasn't made it any easier for Ray. So
He's
Ray,
actually blocked it up a little bit more.
Ray's got to find a way in there. I wouldn't mind seeing Ray just go down and have a bit of a look at this. Just go down, study the head, come back, really make up his mind. Backhand it is. So Ray, I feel, is trying to pierce the gap here. You like that?
I do like that.
And turn his nearest bowl up. Ray, or could he? He's played this so well, Ray Pearce. He might have nearly made 2 out of this, Ray. Pierced the gap beautifully. Look at that. That's clutch. Backhand. Avoided both front bowls. Perfect weight just to turn his nearest up. We'll get an indication off our marker very soon. On how exactly this head is set up. All right, it's one red and a measure. So, one to Ray Pearce it is. Very, very good shot there from Ray Pearce. Quite an ugly head, but it was all weight control, just to back himself to get down through that hole. So Chris Couchman,
Yep.
for me, it's a forehand draw. Just work under his front one.
This is a massive, massive bowl for Chris to ask that question of Ray Pearce yet again.
And you know what? He's playing backhand, looking for both bowls. The other option,
I like it. Aggressive.
Chris Couchman, backhand with weight, looking for both of Ray Pearce's 2 bowls. He's missing high here. He doesn't like it.
No, that's gone over the top. So, Ray Pearce with an opportunity to maybe just stamp his authority and take the match by the scruff of the neck. What do you think he's got at the moment, Baz? Do you reckon it's 1 or 2? Oh, 1 and a measure indicated by our marker.
Yeah, and obviously Dennis, he's entitled to his opinion as the marker, and Ray's might be different. Ray might be, I feel I've only got 1, or I feel I've got 2, but the important part here for Ray is doing what he's doing right now, just taking his time and signing off on what he needs to do. That's it now. Ray will just turn around and execute this. For me, I think it's backhand. He can get down under the, play something similar his last through the hole.
So a 1 here for Ray Pearce will tie proceedings. A 2 or a 3 put him ahead with 1 end to play. Let's see what he's got. Ray Pearce.
Forehand it is. He's looking for the hole.
Has he got the hole or is he promoted? Oh, what has this done? What has this done?
So I think we'll see a measure here, Val.
Yep, everyone here at Club Tweed sits with jittery knees at this measure. Ray Pearce wants 2. Chris Couchman wants him to only have 1 so we can have final bowl to win this match.
Well, if it is 2, that creates the opportunity to draw the set.
Yep, and send it to a tiebreaker. Even with a 2, Chris Couchman will still have an opportunity to win the match with his final bowl of this end.
We're measuring for 1 now, are we?
I think we are.
Well, it went from 1.5 to 1.
Just the 1, so here we go.
The last end.
It is a 1-end shootout to see who is going to go through to the final to take on Darren Gordon. 6-all in the opening set, 7-all with 1 end to play. Ray Pearce is going to have the mat, and Chris Couchman is going to have the final bowl.
Ray Pearce studying what to do here. Mat up, Jack in the ditch, arguably something that he may have thought about. Now, that's, that's in the Aaron Wilson territory, Ali Forsyth kind of zone. Those kind of players in this environment may have elected to bring the mat up and try and bury the jack. For me, if it was a team environment where you're playing a lot of runners and playing a lot of weighted shots, for me, I believe you may have seen it. But Ray has only played a couple of weighted shots, so that's maybe something he shied away from. But can he open up with a great draw shot? He has, leaving Chris Couchman a foot of room, 1 foot of room to try and win this semi-final.
7 inches from the jack.
So, good start for Ray Pearce. This is when both just need to zero in. Chris Couchman, what has he got? What has he got, Barry Lester?
He's got second shot.
Oh.
He's got second shot, Val.
Oh, it is close.
2 inches away from holding game. He's lifted his hat, scratched his forehead, and Ray Pearce has asked the question. It's one of those situations. Ray Pearce has achieved something super important for this moment of the match, and that is get to the centre of the rink and cover the jack. But he needs another one in there, and he can't afford to open it up or build ahead. So Ray, can he get past? Well, it could come in handy later as he leaves the rink and goes and stands near Wayne Turley.
A spot in the final is up for grabs. Darren Gordon. Haven't seen him yet, watching on, but I'm sure he is watching.
Chris Couchman has to draw the shot here. If not, has to pass the jack. Needs a contingency here, if not drawing it.
It's vital that he passes at least, so he will. But
You happy with that?
yeah, jack high actually. I thought that was going to keep running, but
Well, if he achieves a second shot there, Val, then he can start thinking about weight.
yep.
Plucking the bowl out, bowl on bowl, but he hasn't achieved second, so now the draw would still be the thing he's after most.
Yep. Well, to be honest, his 4th bowls, I don't want to go the early crow, but his 4th bowls coming in this direction, the last 2 ends, have been the best of the lot. And he's been right on the money.
Ray Pearce needs to turn. His weight looks okay.
I don't think it's going to turn.
Getting out, he won't be happy.
Pretty much muscle memory from the previous bowl. So Chris Couchman, another opportunity. This is as tense as it gets.
So the thing that for me that I've seen of Chris today and what I've seen a little bit of leading into this semi-final is solid draw bowling. I think there's still enough room for Chris to close this off. Forehand, draw the shot. Now, if Chris doesn't draw the shot and slides past, he could then hide and then look to play big weight for Ray with his last. But I feel he needs to establish 3rd shot here if he's not drawing it. Forehand. Okay, he's electing weight. See a couple of wind-ups there. Chris Couchman looking for the shot bowl of Ray Pearce's.
Here we go. Chris Couchman with his penultimate bowl of this contest.
Solid weight. He's pretty close here.
Not far away. Chris Couchman.
Well, he's opened it up and achieved the backest bowl. He needed more weight then.
He did. So he's actually made Race closer. So it's all going to come down to the final bowl.
Ray Pearce, I think for me, it's forehand, trail the jack, just around the corner, play that offensive shot first, take it away. Okay, Ray Pearce looking to tighten things up slightly here. Trail the jack, play Chris Couchman's bowl first, shut it down, and if he misses, he goes to a good home. So Ray Pearce looking to get inside that bowl. He's done that, and he's gone to a good home. So now, Chris Couchman.
It's a draw to win, Baz.
Yeah, he would have been probably thinking just jack then, just jack in the ditch to win, Chris Couchman. Now he's more so thinking bowl, but it's all weight. It's all weight.
Yep.
For me, I think he has to play 6 feet, because if he gets the blue, it goes through the white and stays for shot, whereas if he goes big at that, the blue can go off clean. So controlled weight, 6 feet, trail the jack, or if he's under the jack, he can sit it and win this match.
So here we go. Chris Couchman for a spot in the 2023 Australian Indoor Championships men's singles final. Comes down to this.
Forehand with.
Here we go. Is it getting there?
Needs it to turn.
It's coming. It is coming. But it's not enough. And Ray Pearce with the classic semi-final. All well done to Christopher Couchman for what he was able to produce today. It was brilliant. But Ray Pearce, who's lost a couple of semi-finals here before, gets through to the deciding match against Darren Gordon, the Tarrant Point products. It was a brilliant display of conversions. He managed to rectify a lot of situations, and Chris Couchman continued to ask the question of him. But that was as good as you'll see from the former Jackaroo. There's a reason why he's been in the national setup, and he's been to the lofty heights that he's been to, and it's because of the quality of bowls that he produced. That first bowl of that final end set things up for him, and he'll move through for a chance at winning the prestigious Australian Indoor Championships in the men's singles. It was a brilliant display, and Barry Lester's going to chat with him very soon, and he should be so mightily proud of that performance. And let's have a look at what he has to say now with Barry Lester down on the green.
Thanks very much, Val. Razor, what a match, mate. You know, Chris really took it to you most of that game. You had to play some big conversions when it mattered. Was that something that was in the forefront of your mind when Chris was smothering the jack?
Well, to be fair, I didn't put enough pressure on with my first bowl. There's a lot of short bowls out there today. I honestly felt that Chris was probably the better bowler on that rink today, but I got a couple of ends in a row there to snatch the match. But yeah, I'm going to need to be better than that for the final.
And when you say you need to be better than that, was it a weight control thing, or maybe just settling into one side of the rink? What do you think you need to do in the final to take your game to another level?
Pick a hand, pick a hand and stick to it. But give the first bowl a chance. Yeah, the rink was quite slow compared to what we've been playing on, or even when I rolled up last night. But just give the first bowl a chance and give myself some more options if I am in trouble later in the end.
And what do you like to do over the next few hours now? Do you like to get away from the game, go and just refresh, maybe chat to some friends and family, or do you want to stay around, study the environment to set up for your final?
I might have a look at the back end of the ladies' final, but I might go and do some work, Tim Wolf, and just a shout out to my sister, happy birthday.
There you go, Wolfie, back at Tarrant Point, mate. You got a bowls coordinator here that's always working, even when he's trying to win an Australian title. So you're a spoilt man back there at Tarrant Point. But Ray, well played. Good luck in the final, and we're looking forward to you taking your game to another level in which we know you can do.
Thanks, Baz. Appreciate it.
There you go, Ray Pearce. What a player he is. He clawed his way through that final. Chris Couchman played a great game, really solid on the draw, but Ray came up with the big conversions when it mattered. Can't wait to see more of it in the final. Back to you, Val.
Thanks very much, Barry. And what a match it was. Ray Pearce getting the job done, 6-all, 8-7. A brilliant performance from him. And let's have a look at some of the highlights from that second set, because Ray was sensational. Look at some of these conversion bowls, especially this one, to take all two of Chris Couchman's close bowls out of the head there and secure 2 for himself, and that really set things up for him because he was on the verge of being 4-0 down in the second set. So that's one that you can put an asterisk next to if he wins the title, because had he not done that, who knows where he'd be right now, and if Chris Couchman might be through to the final. But Chris securing a full count in end number 5, that really put the pressure on, and things were looking absolutely sensational for him at that point to go up 6-4. But then Ray Pearce pulled out a couple of ends late and got the job done. Big fist pump there from Chris as he forced the match into its closing stages, and a little bit of frustration from him at the end there. But Ray Pearce, a deserving winner. He's played a wonderful week, and he'll take on Darren Gordon in the final at 2 p.m. And at 11 a.m, it's going to be the women's singles final between Samantha Atkinson and Reese Finn-Young. That's going to kick off very, very shortly. We're going to be back on just before that. So in 20 minutes' time, women's singles final action. Looking forward to that one. The Victorian against the young Marimbula product. Val Febo here with you at Club Tweed. A big thank you to Barry Lester as well. Well done to Ray Pearce. He'll be in the final at 2 p.m. We'll catch you very shortly.